Hey, Matt here from LPT. Thanks for tuning in. So, one of my methods for, learning to be the best I can be, which is essentially what LPT helps people, has always been to look at what people are doing that I want to achieve myself and look at what their route to success was and how they've done it. I think we can learn a lot from emulating, not copying, but emulating some of the principles and habits that we'd like to achieve. I've done this in business, and this video is to help people that want to do it in health. So I want to share with you 6 lessons that I've personally learned from our current biggest loser at LPT. He's just hit 100 pounds weight loss in about 6 or 7 months, which I think, I'm going to have to check our records, I think is a record. It's amazing. He's completely transformed his life. And so when something like this happens, we get a member that's really kind of just nailed it. It's really good to reflect on what's happened, and I like to share that for anyone out there who wants that inspiration. Maybe you're like, Alan is a year ago, where you're not in good health habits, you haven't got the motivation, life isn't great, you don't feel great about yourself, you're lacking confidence, and hopefully this will inspire you. The reason why I decided now's a really good time to just start to share, I'll probably catch up and do a proper interview with Alan at some point, but he just this weekend gone, he ran his first 5k race, and he came 11th in his age category, having never really ran before. So I just thought that was incredible, and I thought it was a really good time to actually start looking at other people that maybe want to lose 100 pounds or maybe less. Maybe you'll be happy with just 20 or 30 pounds. What is it he's done that you can emulate? Okay, so I've got 6 lessons I want to share with you. So I made a few notes here. So number 1 isn't a surprise, but he has tracked his progress like no one that I've ever sort of seen before. I don't think he's missed a single day. We actually have a tracking app that we use with our 6-week members and with our LPT members to track their results. We look at how they're feeling, what their motivation level is like, how they're sleeping, and we look at their food and obviously their activity levels. And Alan hasn't missed a single day, which is incredible. But I think there's a great lesson. Like, if you want to make change, then you have to kind of step up and make yourself accountable by tracking your progress and be willing to look at how things are going. I can tell you, and I don't mind me sharing, not every week's great. He has good weeks and bad weeks like everyone does, but the fact that because he's tracking every single day, he's keeping that level of accountability at top of the mind. Okay, and when he does have a bad weekend, and generally his bad days or bad weekends or bad times are planned, and that's the difference. When you're tracking all the time, you get to know your body and you get to know how to achieve the results so well that you can actually plan what we would class as treat or cheat days. Okay, so number 2 is kind of linked with number 1. He always plans ahead. So I've had lots of conversations with Alan, and he's really into his sport. So if there's a big sporting event, and he'll say right, I'm going to have it large this Saturday. I'm going to sink 5-8 pints. Not something we recommend, but listen, Alan enjoys that time. Doesn't do it every weekend, it's quite rare, but on those times when he does, he will earn those calories. So he'll be training with us in here at LPT in the morning. He'll often go home or go to the gym and do more after. So he actually banks quite a lot of those calories that he's going to consume that day. So he probably isn't going to be in a calorie deficit and lose weight that day for sure, but he's at least kind of around the maintenance level. Okay, and number 3 links again in with number 2 is he knows his numbers. So, in terms of planning ahead, which was number 2, is he'll look at, let's say he's going out for a meal, he'll look at the menu online before he goes, and he'll look look at how many calories are going to be in that meal, and he'll take that into account compared to what training he's going to do that day or he has done that day. So he always makes sure that he's achieving the calorie deficit required to achieve his weight loss. And he'll choose, like he may choose like a beer or which starters he can have, so he can still enjoy the process. Okay, so it's still manageable and achievable, but he can still get results. Okay. Number 4, and this is more for anyone that sort of thinking about maybe doing LPT 6-week challenge, is he is one of the few people that has fully embraced every aspect of the 6-week challenge. So one of the things that you get access to on the challenge is we have a whole course. It's like a nutrition and lifestyle education program. And we have a good 5 or 6 hours worth of nutrition, exercise and mindset training within the course. And I know from looking at the stats that he watched every single one of those trainings. He found them really useful in terms of learning how to manage his stress better, how to improve his sleep, how to improve his daily habits. And that may sound obvious, like if you sign up to a program to actually complete it, but I can tell you not everyone does. A lot of people don't want to sort of spend that time or put aside that time to really work on themselves. And this is why personal development is such a core value of LPT, because you really got to make the time. If you want to make change, you do have to put aside the time for your own personal growth and development. Number 5 is he made a conscious decision to change his life and not just trying to achieve what we call a surface level goal. Okay, this was really detailed in the master plan that Alan completed when he first started with us. It was one of the most detailed master plans that I've seen. So again, if you're thinking about doing the 6-week challenge, or it's on your mind, when you get to completing the master plan, I highly recommend you spend a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour being as detailed as possible. Because the master plan gets you to think about your lifestyle transformation, hence our name, Lifestyle Performance Transformations. Rather than just thinking about it as a 6-week program where you lose some weight, we use the 6-week challenge as a platform to help people get on the road to success longer term. Okay, and by really doing that master plan, and you don't have to join LPT to do this, just right now you can think about, okay, well, yeah, I'd like to lose a stone in weight, or yeah, I'd like to run a 10k, or I'd like to have more energy, but what are the bigger purposes? How would you like your life to change? And the reason why it's such an important thing to do is because, and this is the reason why most people's diets tend not to work long term, is because they're not willing to change their lifestyle for the new habits that need to be created. Okay, so you might find that there are a certain set of habits or principles that whatever diet you go on, whatever fitness program you go on, that you've got to stick to, and after a few weeks you just find it too difficult. And the reason why you find it difficult is because you haven't made adjustments in your life to equate for these new habits. And that really is a key factor. Okay, so the last one is one that I've already kind of given away, but you don't have to be a runner to run. Okay, and I think Alan is probably one of the best examples I've ever seen of this. So when you're doing what we call conditioning work, you're doing your squats and you're doing maybe some rowing, you're doing some burpees and you're doing some body weight training. Often we're working the cardiovascular system. Okay, it's the same engine that helps us run. Okay, it's just the movement is different. So a lot of people that say, I'm not a runner, if you lose the weight and you train properly and you're doing some strength and conditioning work, there's, Alan did one practice run and he's became 11th in his age category, which is incredible. So, you can do that. That's something you can do. So that's really important, because a lot of people have aspirations to be able to run, or even just run after their children just so they can keep up and play games. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to like run a lot. It doesn't mean you have to practice that as a weekly. Of course, it's an option. So those are my sort of top 6. So number 1, track your progress, be truthful, weigh yourself regularly, track your nutrition, and make yourself accountable. Find a coach that's going to help you keep yourself accountable. Okay, plan ahead. Look at what those, if you're going to eat out, look at what the menu is. Okay, know your numbers. Okay, so this is numbers of what's your calorie target? How much protein do you need a day? How many steps are you targeting to hit a day? Okay, how many times a week are you targeting to do lifts and weights? Okay, set yourself some mini targets, know your numbers, aim for them. If you don't hit them, okay, great. Reflect on why and see how you can improve the following week. Simple. Okay, make a decision, make a lifestyle decision that's bigger, that's a bigger purpose goal than just losing a few pounds. The moment you do that, you'll start to create the emotion and the behaviours required to actually achieve the goal, but not just achieve it, but keep that going longer term. Okay, and just remember, if you want to start running, you don't need to be a runner. Okay, you don't need to be a runner if you want to run. Okay, just start work on that cardio, lose some weight first. My recommendation on running is people need to be within a couple of stone of their ideal weight. I'm not a big fan of people doing much running until they're there. Okay, sounds counterintuitive because we're told that running burns the most calories, which is true. However, if we're holding too much weight, not fantastic for your joints and your knees and any injuries going on that you might already have. So lose the weight first. Do what Alan did. Lose the weight first. Okay. Do that using strength and conditioning and good diet. Get a coach to help you, and then you can probably start to look at increasing running as well. Okay. So there's lots of things to think about. I did miss out number 4. Number 4 is if you come on board with LPT for us to help you do all of this, then embrace the program. Okay. Watch all the trainings, attend all the workshops. Make the most of your coach, use your training program every single session. Use the app that we include and monitor everything. Okay, if you really want change, then just use everything you can. Okay, so I hope that helps, hope that inspires you to do what someone like Alan has done. And if you have any comments or you want to reach out, need extra help, you know where we are.